Hello everyone. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about these flower pot heaters. They're used to capture the heat from candles and then radiate that heat out into your room rather than all that heat going to the ceiling. So we have a model here and it's a 5-inch. We've got a couple of pots nested inside of it. They're bolted together. We got a bolt that comes out the top, so we put a cap on it because that bolt can get up to 500 degrees. If you look, we have a custom stand made for it, and we've taken a couple of the bases for the flower pots to catch anything that might leak out of a bottle or something like that. But we're using liquid candles to power this flower pot heater. You can use wax candles, homemade candles for it as well. I like the liquid paraffin candles because they don't soot. With regular wax candles, you're going to have to trim them about every 5 hours to make sure you don't soot up your pots. You'll end up with black soot all over the place. So we've taken a couple of them as well. We flipped it over on this one to get the flames closer to the flower pot assembly, and then we took a bigger base and put it underneath the whole thing in case something does leak. And then when you use candles, you have to have it contained. You can't just have a freestanding filler candle. Has to be in glass or something, otherwise that wax is going to drip all over the place. So another thing to keep in mind with these is that you really should have a carbon monoxide detector in your home, as well as a fire alarm, smoke alarm in the house, fire extinguisher. Never had a problem. We've tested these over several months, never had the carbon monoxide tester go off at any time. So they're quite safe to have around the house. Real tall unit, it doesn't have any pots nested in it, but we like the idea of all this surface area capturing that heat and radiating it out into the room. So we have a single liquid paraffin candle for this one. Again, the more paraffin candles you have, or the more candles you have, the more heat you're going to get out of the flower pots. The outside shell here will get hot. You may get second-degree burns. The temperature will get up to 300 degrees. If you notice, the stand's a little bit different than the first stand, and this one we primered and painted a dark earth color because we thought somebody might like a more subdued color rather than the polished aluminum. We'll go up to our next size, which is a 6-inch. We've got two different models of the 6-inch. Again, that polished aluminum. And this one again has two pots nested inside of the unit. Actually, let me do this. We'll show you the inside. Real simple construction. You can find instructions on the internet and that, how to make your own. So it captures the heat and radiates it out. What we find is if we flip this center one over, most of them are like this, that it helps radiate the heat outwards. We find if we get too many of these flower pots on the inside, it acts as an insulator. So it goes right in, and you're all set. So you get down here, we're using tea lights. They're very inexpensive, about a nickel a piece. You can buy them in packs of 50 at a local store. And again, the more lights you have, the more candles you have, the more heat you get out of it. So we'll get this outer pot up around 250 degrees. And again, we've got it on a couple of bases to get it closer to the pot. Another version of the 6-inch. This is sort of off the original design we saw out of Britain. And this one, we're going to use a chafing dish heater to heat it because it puts out a whole lot more heat. We took a pizza screen and put it in. And with this arrangement, we can actually take a small pot, set it on top, and we can cook our meals with it. We've done that. We've done soup. Haven't tried a frying pan yet, but it puts out an awful lot of heat. So our design with this is we want to take a smaller pot, and I didn't bring a penny with me. That figures. We put a penny over here to block that. That way it captures the heat. And then we'll put the next one up and leave this hole open. That way you have that heat coming up and around and out the top. But this will get very hot with the chafing dish heater. We're saying 300 plus degrees. So you want to be very careful of this design. So you will feel the heat radiating off of this, back away from it. Very nice setup. And then our huge pot, it's an 8-inch. We came up with this when a gentleman had a storage locker that he wanted to provide heat and not have to be around. He had no electric, no nothing in it. So again, we're using chafing dish heaters to heat it. One of them's enough. This outside will get up to 300 degrees. So again, that plate to capture anything that may actually spill. But we can make any size stand you want.
Tear one down.
Want to see the inside? So there's our inside of our 8-inch. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Same as our 6. So real easy to put one right back together again. So if you'll note on these designs, we got rubber feet on them. That way it doesn't mar up your countertops or anything like that. You know, how much of an area does it throw out heat to? We're saying like 2 to 3 of the 6-inch style in a well-insulated bedroom should keep it warm. We don't know if it'll get up to 70 degrees or not, but it'll help. Like if your power goes out, it'll be a good alternative to having no heat in the house. So again, remember, it has to be well insulated. If you just burn candles in that, you want to capture the heat and radiate it into the room rather than it all go to the ceiling, we recommend the 5-inch. It's small, it's aesthetically pleasing, it doesn't take up that much room. So different power cells, I talked about the liquid paraffin. You can get them in all different sizes. You can actually make your own liquid paraffin candles. You can buy the glass insert wick, take a mason jar, drill a hole in it, and fire these up. These will last for more than a day. You know, these will last about 20 hours on these. This one's a 90-hour candle. Oops. The tea light's 4 hours. So you have to keep swapping them out. They won't last overnight. We've got these smaller ones. We can get 2 in the 5-inch and they'll last overnight. They're about a 14-hour candle. And you can pull out the wicks a little bit if you want to get a little bit bigger flame. Don't recommend you do that because you do run the risk of soot. If you're into aromatherapy, again, this is lavender scent. You can buy that online, or if you know someone that has it. But you can take it and you can apply it to the tops of these pots, and it'll heat up and aromate your room with lavender or whatever aroma you like. It works out real nice. I've covered my whole kitchen with them and very well pleased. So that's our product line. Hope to see you at our website. We'll put some more information at the bottom of our description on YouTube. So thank you very much for looking at the video, and hope you share it and visit our website.